What's the scariest thing you can think of? Spiders, maybe? Heights? Getting crushed by a refrigerator? I'll tell you what the scariest thing I can think of is. I have an irrational fear of Hollywood taking a video game series I love and turning it into some awful cash grab adaptation. I mean, my favorite video game series of all time is Resident Evil, so that should pretty much tell you all you need to know about my fear. Since the very first movie featuring Mila Jovovich, we've gotten nothing but awful adaptation after awful adaptation. And honestly, I don't ever see us really getting a good Resident Evil adaptation, and I've come to terms with that. I've come to accept that because it just makes it easier to get shitty adaptation after shitty adaptation. But anyways, when I heard there was a Fallout TV show being adapted, I really didn't have much faith. And honestly, who could blame me though for being a bit skeptical of a Fallout TV show? After all, with the exception of a few, Hollywood hasn't exactly done our favorite video game series justice. Before I continue with this video though, I do want to say this is going to be a 100% spoiler-free video because I don't want to ruin, anyone who hasn't seen the show yet since it just came out. So I remember hearing about this show a while ago, but kind of forgot it even existed or was coming out until a few days ago. I was reluctant to watch it because I didn't want to see Fallout ruined by, some awful adaptation just trying to get a quick cash grab. But after watching it, I can honestly say it's the best adaptation I've ever seen. And no, that's not an exaggeration, and no, it's not really even close. So the show starts out like any Fallout game in a vault, more specifically Vault 33 in this case, where we meet our protagonist Lucy. And while I would like to talk more about her and some other characters, I'm going to try to keep this 100% spoiler free, so I won't be discussing any more characters or story elements going forward in this video. So I'm a big fan of badass female leads, and honestly Lucy fits that pretty well. She's a great character overall, like just genuinely a great character, but she's also pretty badass in her own right. And honestly, it's not just Lucy. I think pretty much every character in this show is great. Whether they're a villain or a protagonist or, your typical bully character. I think they're all great in their own way and they're great at what they're in the story for. For me, though, the one thing that really sets this show apart from others is just how well they captured the feel of Fallout. There was never a scene in the show where I felt like they did a poor job at making me feel like I was watching a show based in Fallout. And it makes sense considering the fact that Todd Howard was actually involved in the production of the show. As Lucy is traversing her way through the wasteland, you can really see little things they did in the show that really sets it apart from other shows. So what I mean by that is pretty much every scene in the show has something that takes you back to the games without feeling forced. It's just something as simple as junk you'd find in the wasteland to basically every single prop feeling like it was ripped directly from the games. And the outfits look absolutely amazing. And they do it without feeling like some bad cosplay attempt. The thing that surprised me the most about this show is just how visually appealing it is though. The environments are beautiful and all the creatures that we get to see in the wasteland in the show are amazing looking. Like they look so good. The CGI in the show is actually just genuinely good. My favorite thing from the entire show though, and I don't really consider this a spoiler because it's Fallout, it's going to be in there, especially if you're a fan of the games, is the power armor. The power armor looks spectacular. It looks so good. And honestly, they just did like a really, really good job of capturing the vibe of the wasteland. Like it has everything you would love in the wasteland. The gore, the comedy, the junk, the rundown buildings, the environments, the one town they visit. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but the town they visit looks amazing. It looks exactly like what you would expect it to look like in the video game. And overall, like, I just can't even express how much I like this show. This show is genuinely amazing, and it's honestly a breath of fresh air when it comes to video game adaptations. Don't get me wrong, though, it's not 100% perfect. I mean, after all, nothing is. But it's damn good, and this gives me hope that maybe other studios will take note of how important and beneficial it can be to include people who know the lore of the game they're adapting. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Halo series, because your show is an absolute train wreck. And to be proud of not knowing the lore or never having played the Halo games is one of the most insane things I've ever heard. I'm just hoping that the Borderlands adaptation can come even remotely close to this, because I really don't want to see another video game series I love destroyed by some cheap cash grab. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for this video. It might be a bit shorter of a video, but I really wanted to discuss what I like about the show without actually spoiling the show for anybody. Because honestly, I can't stand when I have a show that I haven't had a chance to watch or am currently watching being spoiled. Because honestly, there's nothing worse than that. That's just so frustrating. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like. Let me know down below what you guys think of the show. And subscribe. It all helps out a ton. Yeah, like I said, I mean, that's pretty much it. I'll catch y'all in the next video.